It's nice to be able to meet with you again, and I want to talk to you now about the upcoming assignments and the second part of this week's assignments for the week, what I'm calling April 7th through April 14th. And I have shifted, like I said before, to things are due on the 14th. Now, I've already given you this introduction to faith, life, and Logos assignment. And hopefully you're involved in that. Make sure you go to find that email. If you do not get that email, if you did not get an email introducing you or inviting you to Faith Life, make sure you let me know. But it should be in your Southeastern email. And then you go through those videos, take the quiz. Now, let me just say something about watching videos. Make sure you watch every minute of videos. In the quiz this week about watching videos, I asked if you watch every minute. I'm going to be doing that from now on. According to the statistics, the analytics in YouTube, you can go on YouTube, you can check any video that you upload to YouTube. You can see how many people watch it, and you can see the average number or average percentage that people are watching. And based on that analytics, some of you aren't watching the entire video that I'm putting out. I think you're doing, I think you're skipping ahead and filling in the blanks. That's my assumption. I'm not trying to accuse any particular person. I have no idea which computer, what person is doing what. And so I'm concerned, though, that you're not listening through the entire video. So let me give you two encouragements or motivational factors to get you to listen to every minute of every video. First of all, the quizzes will say that now. Now, I said it before. Did you watch all the video? And most of you put yes, you did. And if you did that, if you think back now and you skipped ahead, you may want to email me and tell me how much of each video you watched. Just to get it off your conscience. Because if you said you watched the entire thing and you didn't, that's a problem, right? So I reworded that and said, did you watch every minute of it? And so you to make sure you understand that you have to watch the whole thing. The second motivation factor I'm going to give you is that part of your final exam will include lectures, of course, from these videos. And I probably will be taking things that are not in your notes, that I just simply explained or talk about outside the notes. And I really want you to listen to it. If this online thing is going to be effective at all, you've got to do more than just fill in the blanks and pass and put it for the test. So trying to motivate you to do the best you can, to be the best student you can. And I know it's extremely difficult. One of the worst things that can happen in an online class is for you to watch a PowerPoint or watch a screen and listen to somebody. It's statistically, it's studies have shown. We did not have time to put these like they ought to be, and we're just going to do the best we can. So suffer through it, listen to it, try to learn, and let's step that up. Now. Also this week, you will have a research topic due and a list of 5 sources. That'll be due by Tuesday. I'll talk to you more about that in a few moments. Since I'm mentioning the research topic, notice the research proposal will be due on the 21st. That's in about a week and a half. And then the research paper is going to be due on May 2nd. And May 2nd, we're looking at 3 weeks away, and so you're going to have time to get this thing done. And if we look over to the calendar, today's the 10th. The research topic is going to be due the 14th. The research proposal is due the 21st, and then the end of the next week on a Saturday, I'm going to have the paper due. I do that because your final exam will be this last week, and there'll be one more lecture. So I'm trying to spread this out. We'll talk more about the paper next week, and I'll talk more about it even in a few moments. Let me go ahead and mention what other assignments are coming up. Next week, we will go over 2 chapters in Thiessen, continuing on with soteriology, discussing conversion in chapter 29, and justification and regeneration in chapter 30. The following week, we'll cover union and adoption, which is the final the next last chapter, sanctification being the final chapter that we are going to study this semester. And actually, that you'll have that very next week. You'll have everything will be cleared away. Of course, this starts April 29th, so on a Tuesday, and it's going to be due on Saturday. This is going to be due on Saturday, and that's your research paper. I'm trying to get this due before finals week. It's going to be due the 2nd because this week is finals week. And I really don't want to have you writing papers while you have to do all these finals. So we're trying to get that done. The final exam for this class will be on the 7th. Okay, May 7th. So let's talk about what's due as far as the research topic, the second part of this week's lessons. And that is that I want you to come up with a research topic and a list of 5 sources. Now, the research topic has to be under the broad category of what I'm calling conditional salvation or security. So conditional salvation / security, that general area. Like, for example, you could say conditional salvation, the biblical view. That could be the title of your paper. Depravity, a contrast of Calvinists and the biblical view. Contrast of the view of Calvinists and the biblical view, or contrast of Calvinism and Arminianism, you could say, for example. Eternal security in light of Scripture. That could be a topic. Now, a topic that would not be accepted, for example, would be Calvinism versus Arminianism. That's way, way, way too broad. Also, tulip is way too broad. So I would not accept either one of those. And by the way, I'm not going to accept a paper that is not the view of the college. So why Calvinism is the correct biblical view is not a paper that's going to be accepted. And so in case you have that leaning. This week, all you need to do is do your topic, a brief description of what you plan to cover. 2 or 3 sentences, just a brief explanation of what you're covering with this topic, maybe 1 sentence if it was done right, and a list of 5 sources. So you need to find some sources. You need to think about your topic and find some sources by next Tuesday. Now, what about those sources? Well, let's go to a document. Let's go to Populi. Okay, let's go over to Populi. And in Populi, in the front page, if you scroll down, here are some things Mrs. Penley has put up. Need help with research. She has this Word document, and if you, with my Mac, I can click File and export it as a PDF. You might be able to get it in, export it, download it in another way, and so you could put this on your, provide this. I may even provide it as a link, as a page for you. But you have the Learn databases. Now, these are the databases that we purchased at the college. Some of your professors has linked into their classes. ProQuest, Gale, Open Access Source databases, ebooks. You can go through. It's you can access it through your Populi. And there's a walkthrough video available on Populi homepage in the feed. So if we look in Populi, we're in Populi, aren't we? If you look in the homepage, in the feed, and I'm trying to see where that's at. I don't see it right now, so I'm not going to worry about it for the moment. But that's available for you. If you need help, ask Mrs. Penley, or text her or email her. There are other links in Populi, and I'll show you those in a few minutes under the Links tab. You could go do the Google Scholar. It's scholar.google.com. Has a lot of sources available. Now, some of them may not be free, but it is a resource that's available. RedShelf is listed in these tabs, but it's free ebooks. And Of course, your local library could be something that you're good to go for. And so you can find things in these. Like, for example, if I go to Google Scholar, let me just copy this link real fast, open up a new tab, put it in. It's not working. Okay, scholar.google.com. Okay, there it is. And I look for something like depravity. All right. Here are a bunch of articles about depravity, and some of these are books. Some of them would not juvenile depravity. Obviously, that's not going to work. But maybe you would find something that would work in your for your paper here, and you can put date ranges. You can customize it. It's a bunch of different stuff you can do it. You can also go to books.google.com, and you might be able to find some things there. Red Shelf. This is, and she actually has a link to that up here, right here. So this Red Shelf, if I type depravity in there, and already done that before, here's a book, 5 Points of Calvinism. Now, I have no idea who this Edwin Palmer is. You'd have to make sure he's a scholar and not liberal, but it might be something you would look at. And it's an ebook that you can borrow through May 25th. Here's another one on Tulip you could borrow. So Red Shelf might be a possibility for you. There's also this new site for online research. The National Emergency Library has become available, and this is because libraries are closed. If you click on that, you get an option, and you can type in a lot of stuff in here. You can type in depravity and search 77 results, and there they are. And some of this is not going to be much help. And I'm looking through, and this is the first time I did it that way, so I'm kind of looking here with you. And Growing Deep into Christian Life, Charles Swindoll. It's more of a devotional. It's not really a scholarly work. And so you may not find anything there, but it doesn't hurt to try. Okay, so that gives you some things to look for in these searches. But here's what I want you to look also. Go to the library, and when you go to the library, click on links. All right, click on links. And here's a bunch of great stuff here. And notice, Digital Theological Library. Here is Gospel Coalition Resources, Tyndale House links, and Christian History Institute. There are some Christian links on here that you might be able to look for and to use here in this list. Of course, you can go to I've already done this. Go to catalog. I typed in depravity, hit enter, and these two things came up. And these means these are on the shelf in our library. And if there's something you are interested in, you can contact Mrs. Penley, ask her to take that book down, and if nothing else, have her take a picture of the table of contents and text it to you. And it might be something you'd want, and she will help you. She might copy some pages for you. Just check with her and have her help you. That's one reason why she's there. She's done a wonderful job in our library. She's gotten her degree, library science. She knows what she's doing, and she is a tremendous, tremendous help as we are being able to do more in the area of our library. So it's a wonderful, wonderful thing there that is available to you. So let's go back to our Word document. And so I had those listed there, and this is what's upcoming, and this is the paper. Now, going back to to what's coming up. So you'll do your research topic. Looking back at the calendar, your research topic will be due on the 14th. That's next Tuesday. The following Tuesday, you'll have your research proposal. And actually, if you want to get a head start on this, I'll talk to you more about it next week. But go to our class and click on Files. And if you scroll down, you'll find Research Proposal Template and Research Proposal Instructions. So I click on the instructions, there they are. It tells you what you have to have. You have to have a cover page, a thesis statement, a need for the study, what's the significance of this study, your procedure including your outline, and a working annotated bibliography. At least 8 sources. At this point, 5 sources just listed for next week, 8 sources, and you have to tell, you have to say things about it, and it tells you some more about it here. And you can read through that. I'll go through it next week in detail. Now, the research proposal template is what you need to download as a Word document and use it. You could put your title, your name and date, your thesis statement, your need, your procedure, all that's here. Even, hey, outline, blah, 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 what it's going to cover, and then how the bibliography is. You put your research entry first to say what you're going to be using, for example. Then you do a summary. Then you say, how will you use this source in your paper? Then you have a place you can put notes. Put notes if you want to put notes there. Now, speaking of notes, let me just go into apps for Logos. This is apps.logos.com. This is our online Logos if you're using it that way. By the way, you'll have a lot more options if you download the free basic version. In fact, if you look at some of the help stuff, some of the tools that they have may not be available here. But here's an example of here's an example of, here's the page, right? And so I'm going to put up two frames here. I thought I was going to, but let me look up something like depravity. And here are some sources. I'm going to go under resources, and as it's searching for resources, and I hope it doesn't take too long. And so let's just say here's a Moody Handbook of Theology, Total Depravity. I want to look at that, and that brings this up as a new tab over here. Okay. If I want, I can close this tab and pull this over here so it's side by side. And it's a resource of theology. Now it has the front page. You can always click this and get your table of contents over here and get back to the title page if you want to. Close that back, and you can always get back that over to here. But the title page, so you can get the stuff you need for your reference list. It's all there on that title page. But in that, you could put depravity, and you could find stuff in here. Oh, there's a definition for depravity. So it's not a whole lot there, is there? So let me do that again. We'll search for depravity, and I'm going to look at all resources again. And let's say that I tried spiritually depraved, not totally depraved. Here's depravity is not absolute. This gives you ideas of some things that may not be Calvinistic, right? So spiritually depraved, not totally depraved. Let's just look at that. And I'm going to pull this over again over here so I can have it side by side. And notice if I click on 1 Corinthians 12:9, that over here in my Bible area, it pops right up. Isn't that nice? So I can study the passage right with what I am looking at. If there's something I like, like this. I could copy it. I could go over to Word. Let's just scroll down to maybe like here. I could paste it. All right. Then I can go back up to the table of contents, go to the title page, and I can pull in any information I need for my bibliography and my reference list. Now, if you have, I think I understand this much. If you have if you download the free basic Logos 8 basic version, when you copied that and pasted it into your Word document, the footnote would automatically appear, but not the case with the web app. So here's the title. I could just copy all of this right here. Copy it, and I could go back over here, and instead of pasting, I'm going to say paste special, which it is just Jubiform, and that pulls a bunch of stuff in, doesn't it? So it gives me pretty much most of what I need. It has the copyright date. It has the who wrote it. It has the town, and I don't know what else I need in my bibliography. So it has obviously the title of the book, and so going to the title page will get you what you need, right? And then this is a quote that I could put into my bibliography. So that's a little tip for you as you're doing your research and as you're using Logos there. Anytime you copy and paste, make sure you do it. You put it in your notes. And by the way, what I didn't do there, and I'm going to go back here in depravity. I'll just go here, depravity, and see if it'll pull something up here, and it didn't. Fine, there you go. And I'm hoping it'll do. Oh, there it is. So I'm here on this. I'm looking through here, and one problem you have. Oh, here it is. We'll click on that. How is that? If I find this information, and what this is saying, one problem is we don't know what page numbers this is on, and that's a real problem. It's not showing up real well here, but you'll need to figure out what page it's on. So if you do use a direct quote, you have to show the page number, and so make sure. I'm not sure exactly how that's supposed to be done, but surely there's a way in Logos to do it. If any of you find that, let me know. We're kind of learning this together, okay? All right, but anyway, I'll give you a lot of help, and I hope it's been a help to you. And so you have your assignments for this week, and start thinking about your research topic and start doing some work. All right, God bless you.